Hi everybody and welcome back to Visit Fylde Coast. In this video we're going to go and take a look around one of the places to stay in Blackpool. So we're going to go and have a look at the Gynn area. Notice anybody that corrected me before, I didn't say Gin, I said Gynn. As in Gynnel. So as you can see that's Blackpool Tower. We're not a long way north of Blackpool Tower, and this is the area where the colonnades finish, and they're public toilets at the back of me, because we always need to know where the public toilets are, don't we? And this, of course, is Gynn roundabout. So I'm going to go and take a look round, and this is another one in our series of places to stay with some interesting things thrown in. You won't expect any other now, would you? So don't forget, make sure that you've subscribed to Visit Fylde Coast on YouTube. Make sure that you've hit the little bell for notifications, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. I guess the first thing that we start by asking is where the Gynn is. Well, first of all, it's a long drop down there, so you kind of get the idea of how much of a drop it is from the beach. Oh look, it's Charlie Caroli. I've not noticed that. That's a bonus, that. It's the Charlie Caroli tram. Passing on a heritage tram tour. Oh, isn't that lovely? I used to love watching Charlie Caroli. Anyway, as I was saying, you can see that it's quite a drop from the top of Warbreck Hill to the beach, and it definitely would have been in the days before modern sea walls and landscaping. So we're north of Blackpool Tower and North Pier. There's the tower, look, hiding between all the lampposts, and you can just see the end of North Pier. And down there is the hole in the wall cafe, which, to be honest, I was going to go and partake of a refreshment, but it looks as if it's not open today. I think we're a little bit early. It's not quite Easter yet, is it? So it's accessible. We've just proved that it's near the tramway. Main bus route, plenty of nearby facilities. There's even public toilets, the ones that I was standing at the back of. Here we go, public toilets. Never have too many toilets. And did you know that in 1916, toilets were first put in the tram shelter at the Gynn? And in 1923, while we're talking about public facilities, one of 3 of the first telephone boxes were installed here as well. The other 2 were at Talbot Square and Manchester Square. There you go, you see, little known fact. Here comes another tram. There you go, perfectly connected. Perfectly connected. And when we get to the other side of the roundabout and a bus, it's almost like I'd planned it, is it not? When you get to the other side of the roundabout, you will see that there is also a large car park, which is currently more or less empty. You can just see some trailers there in a little van, but this is all a car park, so it's a really handy spot. We've got gardens. There's the Gynn Gardens over there. There's Jubilee Gardens here at the side of the van. And of course all the Blackpool illuminations. You can just see a few of them in front of us. So what we're going to do, we're going to kind of loop round Gynn Square, because of course it's not square, it's round, is it not? Well, sort of round. And we're going to go and take a look at some of the hotels and some of the little known facts. And when you're booking your accommodation, when you're booking your holiday and somewhere to stay, don't forget to look at our Stay Blackpool accommodation guide. And we'll point out where the Stay Blackpool rated hotels are as we're going round on our walk. So I think we'll actually... Oh no, we'll not. We'll dodge across, because, to be honest, I expected yards and yards of traffic, and it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all, frightened this learner driver to death. Thank you. So the one at the back of the trailers is Wilshaw Road. And the first one to point out that is actually a Stay Blackpool member is the Fylde Hotel. So we'll go up there and we'll have a good nosy, shall we? Because I very, very rarely go near to these properties. So I'm just as curious as you are. And this is one of the oldest areas of Blackpool. Going back to Gynnels and Gynns and Gynns and whatnot. This was once a cleft, for want of a better word, in the shoreline, in the sea wall, down to the beach. So if you can imagine a gentle slope from the top of the hill down to the beach, which is what it would have been way back in 793, when there were tales of Vikings beaching their longboats in the cleft at the cliff. You've got to be careful saying that, haven't you? In the cleft at the cliff, and then travelling inland, which is that way, to go and raid Poulton. Because Poulton, of course, was the big trading place in this end of the coastline. And I'll put you the link to the information about that underneath the video, because it's quite interesting. It was actually once a really big, thriving port town. Poulton was. There you go. And there wasn't a road north from the Gynn for quite a long time. And if you wanted to go to Uncle Tom's cabin, you would have had to have walked or taken a carriage. So Fylde Hotel, this one here, is a Stay Blackpool member. And when you book with a Stay Blackpool Hotel, you can be assured of a clean, safe and legal place to stay. So you know you're going to get a good holiday, not a really bad one. That looks very nice, doesn't it? They're obviously doing that all up. I really like that. Oh, that's smashing. Fab job. That's going to be nice. Be a nice spot for a holiday, that. And of course this side of the road gets all the sun. It's in the sunny side of the road. And then we're just coming down on this corner to Fylde Road, which turns off left. There's all kinds of different accommodation tucked away in different places in Blackpool. So the Beaucliffe, and the Inglewood are both Stay Blackpool members, and they're not a long way to your left on Fylde Road, just down there. And there are loads of hotels down there, left turns, back to the prom. It's like a rabbit warren. There's somewhere for everybody. And this is a lovely little garden as well. That's a sort of a rigging. I'm sure there's a technical name for it. A rigging display in the centre. And then that side is sort of the Gynn Gardens proper. Gynn. I said it again, didn't I? Gynn. And if you carry on in that direction, you eventually come to Fylde and B&M. Not much further down the road, actually. Let's see if we can just scoot across here before this traffic comes. Run. Ooh, wobble. Right, so in 1680, there was a farm. I reckon probably somewhere round about here-ish. And it was called Oxendale, and it was above the Warbreck Gynn. And there was a stream at the side of the path through the valley, which was later culverted underneath the Gynn Gardens. Now I also know that there are culverted streams all over Blackpool, and that's part of the problem why we end up with flooding when it rains heavily, because number one, it's low, number two, it's built on clay, I'll come back to that in a minute, and number three, there's loads of water sources that come down to the coastline, and they're all kind of tucked into gaps and culverts, and they've only got to get blocked, and well, you've got a flood, haven't you? So the small inlet at the Gynn was often used as sheltered anchorage, which sort of explains why that hotel's called the Moorings. You see, that makes sense, doesn't it, when you start looking? And that is sort of where you were looking. And there's been more than one shipwreck as well that's come a cropper just off there. See, back in the day, this would have just sloped. It would have sloped from Warbrick Hill Road, and it would have just sloped down to the beach. So you can understand why the Vikings came that way, can't you? So this is Gynn Gardens. And coming back to the clay, it's actually the site of the Brickcroft, which was a source of clay for many of Blackpool's red brick buildings, and also explains why it's dug out. So they obviously dug all the clay out, used it to make bricks, and we're left with a hole. And that's the gardens. I thought I'd cut the corner off, so we left you just a second ago up there in front of the big cream semi-detached house. So we've already talked about it being the site of the clay works. But did you know that the original Gynn, got to think carefully, the original Gynn pub dates back to 1715. One of the earliest hostelries in Blackpool, no less. The original one was on the site of the roundabout, which is at the back of me. There you go. Just behind the road signs. It closed on the 2nd of May in 1921, and demolition of it began on the 15th of August. And then Gynn Square was redesigned so that the Promenade Tramway, which was Blackpool, and the Fleetwood Tramway, which was a separate company, could be joined together. And then in 1939, the current Gynn Hotel was built, that opened on the 27th of May. Now, you've probably noticed that it's semicircular, and it fits the plot perfectly. And when I learned that it was built in 1939, I was quite surprised actually, because I'd have said it was more modern than that. But when you actually stand and look at it and look at the architecture, you can see that it's an older property. Just from the details, it's got that 1930s look to it. And then of course that brings us to the roundabout, which is usually home to something of a illuminations feature. The framework that you can see there is from the Spitfire. In 1997 there was a carousel. Remember the carousel with the horses? It was lovely, that. In 2012 it was the Rocket, which I would not have said it was that long ago. And then obviously last year and the year before it was the replica Spitfire. Now this is a little bit of a strange one, because we're going to go over there now. In fact, I can see the target of my next pointy outy thing, because one of the other things that I discovered when I was researching Gynn Square this morning in my copy of Nick Moore's fabulous History of Blackpool, which you can read in full, all 1,500 pages of it, on the Visit Fylde Coast website, is that this corner is also home to the oldest post box in Blackpool, which is just up here. I'm going to show you the oldest post box in Blackpool. So this is Dixon Road. I always have to think, because I always want to call it Dickinson Road. It's not, it's Dixon Road. And on Gynn Avenue, I think is that little one there. There are another two Stay Blackpool members, which are the Golden Sands and the Arundel, in a nice little convenient spot for you to get to the seafront, etc. I wonder how many other people have come to look at the letterbox. And it's a VR one, this is. I thought we were going to have to explain away why we were looking at letterboxes then. Oh, it is as well, look. VR. Well. Complete with a pop can on top. That's nothing we've got. So that's your look round the Gynn. It was actually sunny this morning when I set out to do this little job. And unfortunately it's gone a bit dull, but it's very mild. So I hope you've enjoyed that video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you've subscribed. And don't forget to check out the Stay Blackpool accommodation guide. And you can find that with the link below. See you later. Bye for now.